run. All I have to do is look at my regular season stats, and then continue in franchise to look at awards. And I believe I even did Tyler Webb's regular season. He was solid. I think I did John Gant as well. He was alright. I think I stopped here. Alex Reyes. Yeah, definitely stopped here. Alex Reyes. A potential 73 overall. It went up. He's only 25, so I think he has a chance to get better. I don't see him being a starter ever. He started 5 games in 2016, but I don't really see him ever starting. I don't think his stamina is going to hold up. But I think if he can get the walks and control up, which in turn would get the clutch up, I'm sure, he can be solid. He could probably turn gold. He got called up in like August, though. He only made 7 appearances for me. Took a loss. No wins, no saves, no blowns, no holds. Only pitched 8 2/3 innings, so didn't even get a full start worth of innings in 2020. In those 8 2/3, he gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. I mean, if you were to turn those 7 appearances into one start, so if he started a game, went 8 2/3, it means he went all but got the last out in the 9th. And he only gave up 5 hits, 3 runs. That's not bad. That's a solid start. 5 walks. I mean, you're giving up 10 base runners altogether. 5 hits, 5 walks is a little shaky. 3 runs is not the best, but 7 strikeouts, 3.12 ERA, and 1.15 WHIP. Like if that's one start, that's not bad, you know. .1 WAR. So he's satisfied, and I'm all right with him. So Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks got his overall up to 82. So Jordan Hicks went gold. He's A potential. He's only 22, which is the crazy part because he's been around for 3 years now. So I think this is a guy who, if that control goes up, becomes one of the best in the game, period. Like, he's only 22, so you know he's going to get better. You know he's going to improve. His Ks per 9 is probably going to go up. His walks per 9 will probably go up a little bit. His control will hopefully go up a solid amount. In which case, he's going to be very lethal. I mean, he already is, but it's just the control because he throws 102. You know, his sinker gets up into 100. So, he only made 17 appearances for me, though. 1 win, 2 losses, a save, 2 blown, 8 holds. I didn't use him as my closer because of his control. So, he was a setup guy. He was my second setup guy, though. I used Gallegos because Gallegos had a higher overall. 19 1/3 innings pitched. Struck out 25 guys, a 1.86 ERA, and a .98 WHIP. Definitely, I mean, small sample size, but I mean, compared to last year, it's smaller than last year, but he also, I'm pretty sure he got injured last year, right? Either way, you know, I'm definitely happy with it regardless. I think if he pitched more innings, the numbers would still be around that. Obviously, the strikeouts would be higher, but these two would probably be about the same. .4 WAR, and, you know, he's not a free agent until 2023. I'm satisfied with him. He hates his contract, and I think he deserves that contract, $3.6 million already. Assuming he can get his control back to, or better. Giovanni Gallegos is an interesting one because I didn't realize that this kid was young. He's 28. He's only got 2 years under his belt. And he's got A potential. He has overall up to 87. He's a diamond. Giovanni Gallegos, I think, was overall wise, like attribute wise, my best bullpen arm. And I didn't use him as my closer. I used him as my setup guy because, you know, I wasn't sure how I'd be with him. He's got the home runs per 9, was kind of low. Still is, but he got it to go up 5. Everything else is solid. He doesn't have the velocity, though. That's one thing I look for in closers, is to have velocity and break. He's got the break, but he doesn't really have the velocity. But he's got good hits per 9, Ks per 9, clutch control. Walks are all right, and the home runs per 9 is the other thing. It's below 60, so to me, that's can't really have him as a closer. And this is exactly why. So in 36 appearances, he went 3-1 with 4 saves, 2 blowns, 17 holds, and 35 2/3 innings pitched. What is this? I'm getting a text about a package that I already received. Like, it's updates, but I already received it. It says 1 of 2, for that matter. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and do delivered at 3 next time. Take your okay. I'm just not gonna reply stop either. So in those 35 2/3 innings pitched, he gave up a lot of hits. Between his hits and where walks there, between his hits and walks, his WHIP was higher than 1, which is fine, really. But he gave up 6 home runs, which amounted to 35 or 15 earned runs. Struck out 47, so he had a 3.79 ERA. That's a little bit high. and then a 1.26 whip. Like, that's not really what you want out of a guy with his overall, with his stuff, and in the role that he's in. .4 WAR. Like, I'm satisfied with him nonetheless, but not a free agent until 2024. You know, I think he could get that $1 million contract. He's happy though. So this guy was my closer, and this guy I think has potential to win the Cy Young. Andrew Miller, who has been around for 12 years now, Jesus. Andrew Miller, his overall went down to 83, so he's gold, and I think he's robbed here because everything's going down for no reason. I think if his attributes were to reflect his numbers, at least from what I can remember, then his attributes should be a lot higher. His walks per nine should be a lot higher, home runs per nine a lot higher, clutch 99, control a lot higher. Velocity and break, I'm fine with that being where they are. Hits and Ks per nine are definitely in a good spot, even though they're going down. Because here's why. He made 47 appearances, he had 42 saves, and 1 hold. 42 innings pitched even in those 47 appearances. 16 hits. He only gave up 16 hits. He gave up 2 earned runs, which were both solo shots by the looks of it. So Andrew Miller, in 42 innings as a closer, struck out 49 guys, but he had an ERA of .43 and a whip of .64. Zach Britton, eat your heart out in 2016. 1.2 WAR. Andrew Miller, worth the money. He's happy with his role, his contract, really everything. The performance of the team, the individual performance. His overall benefited big time because he was ecstatic. It went up 5 points. He should have been 78 overall, but it went up to 83 based on that, and then it went down still for some reason. To me, if you're going to look at Zach Britton in 2016 as a potential Cy Young candidate, I think there's no doubt in my mind Andrew Miller was the best closer this year in this game. In 47 appearances, he gave up an ERA of .43 and a whip of .64. Zach Britton can eat his heart out. Like, that's, I think, better. From what I can recall, at least, better than Zach Britton's 2016. I'm going to look it up now, though, because I'm curious. This is easily, without a doubt, the best I've ever had for a closer, numbers-wise. I've never had a closer do this good. And he's not even an actual closer. That's the crazy part. But the fact that I was able to put him in the closer role and the game said, you know what? Okay, we'll let you keep him as a closer for once. Normally, that doesn't happen. Normally, if I put someone that's not my closer in the closer role, I have to change it multiple times. Zach Britton actually had a good year in 2019. Wow. I thought he didn't. 2016, Zach Britton had an ERA of .54 in more games. Okay, so Zach Britton did have more games, though. Miller had a lower ERA by .11. 47 saves for Britton, so he had 5 more saves than Miller did here. 67 innings pitched, so he had 25 more innings pitched than Andrew Miller did, so that's a little bit of an issue. He gave up 4 earned runs all year. I think Andrew Miller would, if he pitched more, probably would have been about the same, though. His whip was .84. Miller's was down by .2 or .20. Opposing batting average was 162. Is that a thing here? Can I look at that? No, there's no way to look at opposing batting average. Which kind of sucks, but regardless, I think Andrew Miller has to be in the Cy Young talk. Is he going to get it? I doubt it. But okay. So, sorry, I got a little distracted for a second here. Yeah, is Andrew Miller going to get it? Probably not. Does he deserve to be in the conversation? You bet your ass. Let me save that for later. Close all these apps on my phone. Okay. Adam Wainwright. Already confirmed that this was his last year. He said he was retiring at the end of the year, so we got to go out with a 3rd ring. Never really cared for Wainwright, but he had a 15-year career. So this is going to be an interesting one to look at. His overall went down to 72, so he's really hitting the decline. He did have 12 hits this year, including a double and a home run, 2 RBIs. So Adam Wainwright will retire with 148 career hits. He could swing the stick a little bit. What was? Yeah, Adam Wainwright can hit. Wow. A little surprising. 12 hits, a double, a home run, 2 RBIs, a 207 average for the year. Adam Wainwright offensive WAR was only negative .5. That's actually his like top 3 for career worst, but that's besides the point. He's a pitcher that's going to retire with double-digit home runs, 73 RBIs. The man had 18 RBIs in 2016, 11 in 2017. So 70-plus RBIs, 11 home runs, 148 hits. That's a solid hitting career for Wainwright. He even stole a base for the first time in his career. So Adam Wainwright doing it all in his final year. Pitching-wise, I kept him in the rotation, and he was all right. He was my number 5 guy, and even then, to be honest, I didn't keep him in my rotation because I wanted to, because I wanted him in the rotation. Like, I kept him in the rotation because even if I didn't want to, like, he was my best at number 5. I had 6 starters, and I think Dakota Hudson was the guy's name. Dakota Hudson wasn't good enough to crack the rotation, if you ask me. Wainwright was, and there were times where Wainwright wasn't even my number 5 starter. He was, I would say, good enough to be a 4th or 3rd. He had 30 starts, 17-6 in his final year. That's a good win-loss record to have. He pitched 190 and 2/3 innings, which is his highest since 2016. His hits are down from last year, and he pitched a lot more, so that's good. Well, not a lot more, but almost 20 full innings more. His earned runs went up barely from last year. His home runs barely from last year. His walks a little bit from last year, but his strikeouts went up. He got 175 strikeouts, a 3.92 ERA, and a 1.33 WHIP. And again, for a guy that's at the back end of your rotation, a number 5 guy, and a guy who's 38 years old with 15 years under his belt, I'm happy with this. He had 17 quality starts. I'm very happy with this. Did he throw any complete games? No. Did he throw any shutouts? No. But he pitched solid. A 1.9 WAR, pitching WAR. So, looking back at Adam Wainwright's career. A Cardinal for life. A September call-up in 05, it looks like. And then in 2006, he came up as a bullpen arm, as a closer. Not even a closer, just as a bullpen arm. Went to the closing role in October, I believe. But then in 2017 is when he started to become a starting pitcher. Adam Wainwright. Do I see Adam Wainwright going to the Hall of Fame? No. Not at all. He doesn't have 200 wins. He doesn't have 2,000 strikeouts. He has 3 rings, though. I don't know if he ever won the Cy Young. I think he did win the Cy Young at least once. He had a great 2010. He had a couple of great years, and his 2006 was good out of the bullpen. 2009, 2010, he was amazing. 2013, he bounced back to have a great year. After missing 2011. If 2011 were in there, that's the thing. He's missing a year. I don't think he would have had 200 wins, but I think he would have had 2,000 strikeouts if not for 2011. I don't think he makes the Hall of Fame. He's definitely Hall of Very Good. He's definitely gonna have his number retired in St. Louis, and if the Cardinals have their own Hall of Fame, he's absolutely gonna be in it. 3 World Series rings. He's definitely up there. I could see his face being on that left field wall, where they have retired greats. I think those are all their retired numbers. I don't know. I don't know too much about the Cardinals, for being honest, because I don't like them. I don't know how they operate. I'm guessing all those faces out there in left field, though, on the wall, are retired numbers. So I think Wainwright definitely is there. And I think there's going to be someone else that goes there with him. Dakota Hudson, 74 overall, B potential. He's only 25. Didn't have the best year for me. I think he's going to get better, and he's going to be solid. He's only 25, and he's got the velocity and the break already. He needs to work on his control and his walks and his clutch. He wasn't bad either, but he just wasn't good enough for the most part of the year. He turned it around towards the end of the year, apparently, in the bullpen. 35 games, he made 23 starts, he went 12-9, 3 holds in the bullpen, 162 1/3 innings pitched, struck out 150, had a 3.83 ERA, but really was north of 4 until he got relegated to the bullpen, and a 1.31 WHIP, which isn't bad. That's fine. 2.7 WAR, I'm happy with him. Oh, I didn't look at Wainwright's here. Yeah, it's the last year of his contract, too, so we don't have to worry about anything like that. He's ecstatic. Loves the fact he thought he was going to be depth coming in the year, and he ended up being in the rotation. Loves his contract, and he's absolutely ecstatic. So am I. Okay, Dakota Hudson, where were we? Yeah, he's satisfied. I think he's worth the money, and he's not going to be free agent until after 3 more seasons. So he was all right. Dakota Hudson was, and with the bat, he got 6 hits. So that's cool. John Brebbia, one of the more used guys out of my bullpen, one of the guys I went to, and he was absolutely solid. 63 appearances, he went 7-1 with a blown save and 8 holds. 73 1/3 innings pitched. That is 2/3 more innings pitched than last year. He gave up the same amount of hits. Got the runs down by 11, the earned runs down by 9, the walks down by 2, and the strikeouts were the same. 2.45 ERA though, and a 1.15 WHIP is definitely dependable. He was like my 7th inning guy if I didn't want to use both my setup guys in one game. 1.1 WAR, worth the contract. He's got a couple more years. He's not happy though. He does not like his contract, and after this year, I think, you know what? Maybe he does deserve the crack in the millie. He shouldn't be getting the minimum. He's also a Massachusetts guy, so naturally I'm going to like him. John Brebbia, a solid year. Into the starting rotation, we completely go here, starting with Carlos Martinez. This is an interesting one for me because Martinez is 28 years old. He got his overall up to 86, so he's diamond with B potential, and I think he could be better than he is right now. I think he has room to improve still. He's a 5-pitch pitcher. He's got 5 pitches, solid velocity, great break. My issue with him is mainly his stamina over anything else. I think his clutch and control and walks could all be everything could be a little bit higher, but I think this guy still has top of the rotation potential. Um, yeah, I think he still has top of the rotation potential. He was great for me this year though. For the most part, 32 starts, 18-6, 200 innings pitched in 2/3. He struck out 227, which is a career high. And his ERA was a little high, and his WHIP was a little high, 3.77, 1.35. Like, they're not bad, just a little high from what I would like. 3.7 WAR. Overall, I'm happy with him, worth the money. I think I'm glad that he's happy. I'm happy. You know, he was good. He was definitely good, and I think he can be better. I think one of his main issues is his stamina. So he tires out, and when he tires out, he's going to start giving up more hits and runs. You want to talk about top of the rotation though? I think this man's going to win the Cy Young. Jack Flaherty, 24 years old. He's 93 overall, so not only is he diamond, but he's one of the best pitchers in the game. And he's only 24, like I just said, so I think he's going to get a lot better. And already he's one of the best pitchers in the game, but I think he has a chance to be the best pitcher in this game at this rate. His break is there. He just needs to get his velocity. And his velocity's fine, but it's only 76, so he has room to improve, which is scary. And everything went up this year. Jack Flaherty, I think, takes the Cy Young from Andrew Miller. Because in 33 starts, he went 22-4. So as if that's not impressive enough as it is, 229 innings pitched, he struck out 271. His ERA was 2.16 and a WHIP of 1.05. The WHIP's actually higher than last year, but the ERA is down a solid amount. He also pitched a lot more innings than last year, so that's part of the reason why. And his pitching WAR of 6.9. I have to look at these guys' offensive numbers too, because I already forgot to do that. He didn't have anything. Carlos Martinez had 14 hits, including 3 doubles, 3 RBIs. And Flaherty had a double, 4 RBIs, 9 hits. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, Flaherty, I think for sure, is the front runner for the NL Cy Young. I think Andrew Miller's got to be in the top 3. And the crazy part is he's still got 2 more years before he's eligible for free agency. And if you look, he's not happy with his team role. That's weird that he wasn't considered the ace. I figured he was my #1 guy all year. He was my #1 starter. Why is he not the ace? That's weird that it says status rotation. Definitely not happy with his contract, and I don't blame him. But he's happy with the performance of both the team and himself. So that helped levy everything out a little bit here. Or balance everything out. And he's going to be a lot better. And I know it's early in his career, but if we were to do career projections, he's going to have probably another 13 years, and obviously he's going to hit a decline somewhere, but he's probably got 10 more years of this in him. Obviously, this is a little high because of what this game mode does, but if we do 10 more years of this, then we're looking at close to 300 wins, probably like 260, because obviously you're not going to have 20 wins every year. That depends on the team performance, obviously. But we're talking close to 3,000 strikeouts, if not already over it. Which I mean that's a huge, obviously. Like I said, he's only 24. He's got room to get better. I think one thing I'm gonna do before I do my beginner run through is go back through each run and do franchise simming for like probably 10 years just to see where everyone ends up career wise. Um, but yeah, so Jack Flaherty is definitely gonna be the Cy Young. Miles McCollum, I was expecting better from him. I didn't realize he was this old, 31. But he's got his overall up to 86 and he's diamond. But he just did not have that good of a year for me. He got better towards the end, but he did have 7 hits and 3 RBIs. 33 starts, he went 15 and 10, 216 and 2/3 innings pitched. He struck out 182, 3.41 ERA, 1.16 WHIP. Not bad. He was my number 4 guy after I traded for Kluber. Because I had Flaherty, Kluber at the top 2. Martinez was number 3. Or McCullers might have been number 3 for the most part. I don't know. I don't know. Pitching WAR 3.5. He was all right. He was all right. Worth the money? Might be a little bit more, but you look at his status and he's ecstatic. He's expecting to make 2 million a year. He's making 17 million. That's insane. I didn't realize he'd been around the block for a little bit, and he actually started in San Diego and went to Texas before going to St. Louis. Huh. All right, and then last but not least, Corey Kluber. I have no idea what his numbers were when I traded for him, but his overall went down to 84, so he's gold, not diamond. His numbers were in the high threes. I think it was like 3.8 for an ERA. I don't know how many strikeouts or what his win-loss was. But I know it was in the high threes because I know Lance Lynn had a lower ERA and his was like 3.6. But he went 15 and 10 in 33 starts, 228 and a third innings pitched, struck out 210, 3.23 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. Not necessarily the Corey Kluber of old right here, but definitely back to great. After coming off the injury last year, good for a pitching WAR 4.1. He had a hit in 21 at bats. He's never really had at bats before. He had 21 this year, and before this year, he had 26. So, yeah. He only had 3 hits. So he added one more to that. Overall, this pitching was solid. Oh, I didn't even look at in the wheel here in the top right corner. We got our team up. This is the 11th ranked team going into the season. We ended up being the 5th on paper. 17th in contact, 8th in power, which are actually significant improvements considering what this lineup was before. 2nd in pitching. Pitching was this team's strong suit. We got the pitching up a little bit. I think the defense actually went down. We're 15th in defense and 10th in speed. So yeah, overall we improved. But anyways, position players for the regular season, starting with Lane Thomas on the bench. Lane Thomas is a guy who I think if I used him more, he would have gotten even better. 24 years old with beat potential, but his overall went up to 71, and he's a solid, well-round. He can field decently, and he's got decent speed, and he's even a somewhat okay hitter. He just needs to work on the vision, discipline, and clutch. But all those went up 5, so he's definitely got time to improve. He's only 24, and I think he can, and I think he can become a solid step up. What is this? Oh, it's like a new little big world or planet, whatever. What is this? The PS5 reveals today, and there's a lot going on. got a Miles Morales Spider-Man game coming out this year for PS5. Wow. There's a new Ratchet and Clank game. Um. Anyways, I'll have to look at that after. So yeah, Lane Thomas I think could have gotten better, but I just didn't use him. I had way too many outfielders already. So he only had 55 games, 107 at bats, 8 home runs, 20 RBIs though. 346 average, 3 stolen bases. He was all right. Good for a WAR 1.7. He's not gonna be a free agent until 2025, so I'm happy with him. And I think he's gonna get a lot better. I think he's got a chance to get his overall up into the low 80s. You know, like, is he gonna be a stud? No. Is he gonna be good though? Yeah. Matt Wieters, backup catcher to Yadier Molina, which it's kind of hard to be worse offensively than Yadier Molina at this point in his career. But no, lo and behold, Matt Wieters doing just that. 65 overall. He's been around for 11 years, 33 years old. I don't believe he's gotten a ring before. Yeah, he's a career Cardinal, or I mean a career Oriole until the last 2 years, or 3 years. So yeah, he's on the decline. Don't be surprised if he hangs it up after finally winning a ring. Not even that good of a fielder either for a catcher. So Matt Wieters, the backup to Yadier Molina. 42 games, 145 at bats, only 37 hits, 6 home runs, 19 RBIs, 255 career average. Career average. Good for a WAR of 0.3. I think that's actually not bad, considering how not good he is and the fact that he's a backup catcher. So I'm happy with that actually. A $2 million contract's kind of fucked. Actually, no, I guess it's all right. Could be a little bit lower, but whatever. Brad Miller. Brad Miller's an interesting one to me because he's overall. First of all, his overall didn't move. 73 overall, 30 years old. See potential. Could play every position except for catcher. First, second, third, short, left, center, right. He's a somewhat okay power hitter. You know, 61 to 59 power isn't bad. Just not that good of a fielder. Somewhat okay speed. Super utility on the bench. And he's mainly a pinch hitter, like I said, super utility. So in 60 games, he had 217 at bats. I mean, this guy's been around for a bit too. Seattle, Tampa. I don't know where the 2 teams were in 2018, but Philly, St. Louis. So it's at least 1, 2, 3, 4 teams, depending on where he went in 2018. But you know, in 217 at bats, 53 hits, 8 home runs, 36 RBIs. He had 30 home runs in 2016. That's crazy. 244 average, 4 stolen bases. A WAR for the year of 1.2. His contract's a little bit higher than what I'd give him, but overall he's happy and I'm satisfied. Again, super utility, so it's alright. Harrison Bader, interesting one for me. Bader's only 25 with 8 potential, 77 overall. I don't see his hitting getting much better. Well, I mean, it's getting better. I could see him getting better too, but not like he's not gonna be like a good or he's not gonna be a great hitter. He can be a good hitter. He's a great fielder though, and he's got great speed at that. I don't think I started him though ever. I think the only time I started him was if we were playing in the AL. I think I might have platooned him with Dexter Fowler for a little bit actually. I don't know. Because he's got a little bit of pop against lefties. But I'm trying to think back. My starting outfield was... No, I think Bader actually started over O'Neill, and then I swapped them. I think it was Bader, Fowler, Edman. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. He was alright, though. So, in his 85 games, he had 307 at-bats, 74 hits, 21 doubles, 14 home runs, 49 RBIs, career numbers for him there, 12 stolen bases, a 241 average. Good for a WAR of 3.6. Not going to be a free agent till 2023. I'm happy with him. Yeah, he did alright. He was a backup outfielder, so these are good numbers for backup outfielder. He's angry though. He hates that he's not an everyday player, and his contract should be in the millions, and it's not. So he is angry. Wow. He's not really happy with team location either. So wow, yeah, negative 25 there, plus 5 more. So negative 15. Shit. He's not happy. I don't necessarily blame him. Matt Carpenter's another guy who Carpenter, I think, was probably the biggest disappointment for me on the team. And not that he even had a bad year. Like, he was all right. But I figured after his 2018, I don't know what he did last year, but after his 2018, I figured he'd be a little bit better than this. He's on the decline, though. His overall went down to 75. He's 34. He's been around for a while. Can still hit righties a little bit, but he just can't hit lefties. His fielding's not really that good, especially his arm. I don't want that kind of arm at third base because you have to throw all the way across the diamond. And everything's just on the decline. The only thing that he really had going for him was his discipline and what he could do to righties. So after, I think the trade deadline was when he got benched. Because I traded for Avisaíl Garcia. Still wanted Tommy Edman in the lineup, so I moved Edman back to shortstop and Paul DeJong to third. And it overall helped the fielding of the team too, because Avi's a decent outfielder. Edman's a decent fielder all around, and DeJong is too. So I got Edman back to where he should be playing, I believe. 114 games, though, for Carpenter. Still had 377 at-bats. 105 hits, which is up from last year in less at-bats, so that's good. 17 home runs, 61 RBI, so a better year than last year. But overall, about where you'd expect him to be. 279 average, 5 stolen bases. A WAR of 2.4. Matt Carpenter, decent. He's not happy. He was expecting to platoon, but he got benched. Happy with his contract for sure. Not that I blame him, because it's a damn big contract. And he's been a Cardinal for his entire career, I believe, right? Yeah, he was a Cardinal for his entire career. He's got 2 rings. I believe he gets a ring for 2011, even though he only played 7 games. Had an appearance in the 2013 World Series. I think he's getting up there in the Cardinal history a little bit. Not like a little bit, like because I don't know. He's okay. He's solid, consistent. He's part of 2 championship teams now. Almost part of a third in 2013. Yeah, I would say not even the regular Hall of Good. A Hall of Very Good. I think he makes the Cardinals Hall of Very Good, though. Yeah, I don't know. He's all right. Franmil Reyes got a trade at the, I think somewhere in June for him, and he's an interesting one to me because he's only 24 with B potential. He got his overall up to 79. He's not a good fielder, but I needed someone to replace Dexter Fowler because Dexter Fowler was doing terrible for me. And Fowler's a terrible outfielder as well, so I might as well, if he's going to be a terrible outfielder and not have a good bat, might as well replace him with a terrible outfielder who has a good bat. Fowler, when I benched him, his overall was 69. Franmil's got up to 79. And the difference here is Franmil's only 24. He's got plenty of room to improve. He's only got 2 full years under his belt. He has great power, 96 against righties, 81 against lefties. He improved against lefties, and he got his contact up against righties, so he's improving. That's the thing, too. He's improving. So I don't know what his numbers were when I traded for him. I think he had 22 home runs. I don't know how many RBIs. I want to say 80. But either way, Franmil Reyes I needed a bat because really my only big bat was Goldschmidt. Paul DeJong was there, but for the most part in the regular season, he was all right. But at that point in the season, he wasn't doing what I needed him to do. So Franmil Reyes came across and did exactly that. I know he had 22 home runs, so he had 25 home runs with us in 159 games. Let's look at his year totals, though. 622 at-bats. He had 176 hits, 101 runs, too, for that matter. 47 home runs, 121 RBIs. Turned into a very prolific power hitter this year after having a solid year last year. 283 average. Good for a WAR of 4.4 out there in right field. Not going to be a free agent until 2024. So that's the thing, too. I traded for a better and younger player who's going to be under team control till 2024. So that was, I think, an incredible trade. I don't remember who I gave up for him, but I don't think I really gave up any of my biggest prospects. So I think that's a huge trade there. Happy with his role. He was supposed to be platooning, and he turned into a star. Not happy with his contract. I'm surprised he's expecting so low. But regardless, he's happy in general, and I'm definitely happy with that trade. Speaking of which, Avisail Garcia, the other trade, right before the deadline, but not Corey Kluber. So I made 3 trades here, and I think this is a very solid pickup as well. B potentially has overall up to 86, so he's diamond. Good fielder with a great arm, good speed, great hitting. Just not so much for power, but still, I don't know. I have no idea what his numbers were before I traded for him. I know he wasn't playing as much though, because in that Brewers outfield, you have to. I think he should start over Ryan Braun. Don't get me wrong, but they're going to have Braun in left. Lorenzo Cain in center is not getting moved at all, and obviously Christian Yelich is a top 5 player in all of baseball, so you can't bench him ever. So obviously Garcia's numbers were low, just because of his low playing time. He only had 340 at bats this year, 121 hits though in that time, 29 home runs, 77 RBIs. I'm guessing he's not eligible for the batting average lead here, but if he is, a 356 average is incredible. Only 7 stolen bags, but still good for a WAR out in left field of 5.1. And again, here's another guy. So I traded to replace Carpenter, really, because Edman and then DeYoung got shifted by trading for Garcia. So in a sense, it's a trade that replaced Matt Carpenter with Avisail Garcia, a guy that's younger and better. And again, I didn't really trade away anyone big. And again, a guy who's only got 1 more year left of team control because of his $10 million contract next year. But still, I'd say overall an improvement because Carpenter's only got 1 more year after this year as well. So he's satisfied. We're both happy with the team role. He doesn't like his contract. And he doesn't like that he doesn't have anyone from Venezuela on the team, but overall he's satisfied. We got -10 there, but we got +10 more to balance that out, and then +20 more. It's kind of weird that he's only satisfied as opposed to anything else, but whatever. I'm happy with him. Tommy Edman turned into a huge star, an all-star for that matter. He made the all-star team. He was in left field for a while for me, or he was in the outfield, but then I got him back to shortstop after the Avisail Garcia trade. 82 overall, he went gold. He's only 24. I think he's going to get better. His fielding is really solid. His speed is great, and his hitting got better, contact-wise mainly, but he's also got a little bit of pop to him. So in his first full year, seemingly, 152 games, 608 at-bats, 182 hits. He was my leadoff guy, too, for that matter. So a leadoff hitter hitting 27 home runs, 87 RBIs, 13 stolen bases, 299 average. Good for a WAR, and in the outfield and shortstop, a 5.6 overall. Definitely great. Definitely great. Happy with him. He's under team control till 2025. He's satisfied. Obviously not happy with his contract, but other than that, he's happy. And I'm definitely happy with him. Tyler O'Neill's another one. This is a huge one right here for me. Tyler O'Neill is 24 years old with A potential. Give me 1 second here. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, Tyler O'Neill, A potential, got his overall up to 84. He's almost diamond. He's only 24. Solid fielder, good arm, great speed. And then what am I looking at here? Oops, oh, someone's birthday. And his hitting's actually really good. He's got to work on the other, like the vision, discipline, clutch a little bit, but his contact is solid and his power is getting up there. +10 in the power to righties department this year. I think he's only 24. He's going to turn into a really good to great player. Like I would even argue, like a light version of like Christian Yelich, Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts, or Mike Trout. Well-rounded hitting, great fielding, great speed. It just depends on how well he can improve in these next few years. But if this year were a sign of things to come, this kid's going to earn some money, and he's going to be great. 131 games, 440 at-bats, 139 hits, 34 doubles, 36 home runs, 89 RBIs, 8 stolen bases, 316 average. OPS above 1.0959. So that's huge. .8 WAR. So, yeah, overall, I'm definitely happy with him. And again, this is a guy that's not going to be a free agent until 2024. And when he gets to 2024, he's going to get paid if he doesn't already. He's expecting that low of a contract, which is kind of huge, too. Yeah, this kid's going to be great. Yadier Molina, this is the other guy I think is retiring. His overall went down to 65. He's 37 years old. He's been around the block for quite some time. Look at these are significant, like, decreases, too, for that matter. Minus 12, minus 19, minus 13, minus 9, minus 12, minus 9, minus 13, 13, 13, 13, 14, 13, 13, 14, 14, 5, and 4. And his speed didn't go down because he can't go lower than 0. Still got a little bit left in that bat for contact. His vision and clutch is still there. At least at the start of the year, his fielding was there. His fielding was above 70. His arm strength was above 70, almost in the 80s. His arm accuracy was in 65. Reaction was 69. Blocking was still 80. His contact was still there too. His contact against righties was 68. His contact against lefties was 77. And then his power, not really ever been a thing for him, but his power against righties was 40 and against lefties was 45. Like, he could still hit a little bit more. His plate vision was 89. His plate discipline was always low, but it was, 9 higher than it was now. His clutch was 81. He was better at the start of the year, but he hit a very fast decline. Now that he's got 3 rings, I believe, as well, career Cardinal, 06, 11, and 2020, but also for that matter in the World Series in 04 and in the World Series in 2013. So 5 World Series appearances, 3 rings. Definitely going to go in the Cardinal Hall of Fame. 2,000 career hits. Well, let's take a look at his year first here. 142 games, 483 at-bats, 126 hits, which is his highest since 2017. 10 home runs, 53 RBIs, a 261 average, about as advertised actually for Yadier Molina. Good for a WAR of 2.7. Does Yadier Molina make the Hall of Fame? No. That low career home runs, 166 home runs, 280 average. Did crack the 2,000 hit category this year though. Hall of Very Good. Definitely going to have his number retired in St. Louis. Definitely a Cardinal Hall of Famer. Hall of Very Good though. Not a Hall of Famer, Hall of Very Good. The 3 rings is the only thing you can make an argument for, but I think overall he doesn't make the cut. 16 years to have that low in numbers. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. He was great for the Cardinals overall, and as a catcher, he's one of the better catchers you would want, like, working with your pitchers. But I don't think he makes it. Paul DeJong. Paul DeJong was an interesting one. Got his overall up to 86. He's diamond with a potential. He's 26 years old. I think he's got a chance to get better. He's actually a really great fielder, okay speed, and his hitting's not bad, And his power, he's got power against righties, and he got better. Everything got better. Before I forget, Yadier Molina contract. Yeah, this is last year's deal, $20 million deal. I don't see him coming back. He's happy, we're happy, but I think he's done. He's 37. Yeah. So yeah, DeJong, in 156 games, had 584 at bats, 159 hits, 33 home runs, 94 RBIs, career numbers there, 272 average, and a 7.1 WAR. DeJong, really solid year, especially batting behind Goldschmidt, or Garcia. Like he was a middle of the lineup guy. He was always in like the 5 spot, occasionally the 6 spot. He could play anywhere in the infield too. Great fielder. He's not going to be a free agent until 2024. I think that's a very solid deal. I think he could get more money than that, but overall, that's really good. Yeah, he's satisfied, and I'm happy. MVPs, we're talking MVPs. I think Paul Goldschmidt had one of the best years I've ever had with an offensive player. Paul Goldschmidt, 32 years old, got his overall up to 97 and went back to being America's first baseman. I think that used to be his nickname back in Arizona. His fielding's all right. His speed has gone down over the years, but his hitting has still improved, including now. He got his numbers against righties up, which is what I wanted him to do, and then his numbers against lefties were insane. And yeah, he's definitely going to be the MVP, if you ask me, because he played all 162 games. I've never seen that before. I've never seen, unless you are a DH, someone play a whole 162. So he played all 162 games, 602 at-bats, 2 hits shy at 200, which kind of sucks. but he had 51 home runs and 133 RBIs, a 329 average, OPS above 1 at 1.086. Good for a WAR at first base of 9.5. That's at first base, 9.5. If Paul Goldschmidt can have about 5 more years of these numbers, not this, but if it's in between these, that's even better. So like probably 40 home runs. 5 more years of that, I think he can make the Hall of Fame. I think. WAR-wise, I think he could, because the usual WAR cutoff is 70. So if he can have about a couple more years where he stays at least in the 4 to 6 category, I think he does it. But an absolutely amazing year for Goldschmidt. I think he gets the MVP because those are wicked good MVP numbers as it is. But the fact that he played all 162 is another thing too. We got him locked down for 3 more years and a pretty good deal on both sides. So he's ecstatic, and so am I. And then there's Colton Wong to round it out. He got his overall up to 86. He's diamond. Great fielder. All around a great player, except for his power. He's a solid contact hitter. He just doesn't really have the power. But he's got vision. He's got discipline. He's got clutch. He can even bunt, which you don't see. He's durable, and he's a good fielder with okay speed. 152 games, 566 at-bats. I think he had a career year. Yeah, career year for Colton Wong. 19 home runs, 75 RBIs, 316 average. Good for a WAR of 7.3. Worth his contract in his last year. He's unhappy, though. He wanted to be a star, but he was just an everyday starter, which, I mean, I don't really have control over that. I can't make him a star. He batted 2nd or 6th for me, or 5th sometimes, I think. Not happy with his contract. I think he'll get a better one in the offseason. Maybe not that high, but higher than what he's got now. Overall, he's unhappy, though. But I'm happy with him. So that's the Cardinals right there. We're going to continue in franchise. I think for sure Jack Flaherty, Cy Young. Hopefully Andrew Miller's in the top 3 there. Paul Goldschmidt should be the MVP, but Flaherty might take it from him because this game value is pitching a little too much in the MVP category when it shouldn't. So Flaherty, Goldschmidt. Reliever of the year is definitely Andrew Miller, at the very least. Postseason MVP is probably going to be, I would say, Paul DeYoung. I don't know how that award works. I thought it was the LCS MVP, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is. World Series MVP is Avisail Garcia. It absolutely has to be. So we'll see what we get here if we continue in franchise. Yeah. Okay. Awards. World Series MVP, yeah, Avisail Garcia hit 400 with 2 home runs, 4 RBIs in the World Series. That's World Series MVP, duh. Postseason MVP, Paul DeYoung, yep. 389 average, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, well deserved. Silver Sluggers, I'm definitely expecting some Silver Sluggers here. Surprised no one in my outfield got one. Edmund finished 3rd for shortstop. Goldschmidt got one at first base. That's it for that. Gold Glovers, I'm not really expecting any Gold Glovers. Maybe top 3s, but I don't expect anyone to actually win one. Ooh, Colton Wong won one, actually. Cool. Colton Wong, for the 2nd straight year, wins the Gold Glove at 2nd base. Corey Kluber finished 2nd for Gold Glove in pitching. Hank Aaron Award went to Paul Goldschmidt, with Tyler O'Neill coming up 2nd. Wow. Rookie of the year, I didn't have any. Reliever of the year went to Kirby Yates. To me, that's some bullshit. Actually, maybe not. He pitched more innings than Miller, so I guess that could do it. Kirby Yates actually had a Kirby Yates-esque year for once. 53 saves. Ooh. Kirby Yates has a chance for Cy Young. I'd say about as much as Miller. Jeez, Kirby Yates went off again this year. Which I haven't seen him do ever in any of my runs, which is kind of bullshit. Batting title goes to Starling Marte. Only 348. I say only. Mookie Betts. Wow, have a year, Mookie. Love to see this. Another 200 hit year, 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, 330 average, stolen bases. Mookie Betts is killing it again. Fielding percentage of that, no errors, a 9.0 WAR. Mookie Betts is probably going to make the Hall of Fame at this rate. He's the 2nd best player in baseball at this point. He's absolutely the 2nd best player in baseball. God, I wish we still had him. Goldschmidt finished 3rd in the batting title. Okay. Cy Young goes to Jack Flaherty, which I think is well deserved. I think DeGrom should have finished 2nd over Steven Strasburg. Same record, much lower ERA. Yeah, Strasburg had more strikeouts, but who cares? Let me take a look at the AL. Verlander again with those numbers and get. See, this is what I mean. This game also values names more than it does attributes sometimes, or stats. Because a guy with a 4.42 ERA should never even sniff Cy Young contention. But he does because he has 19 wins and 250 strikeouts. Like, I think Charlie Morton, at least out of these three, should have probably won it because he had 19. He had more wins than Verlander, a lower ERA, and just a few less strikeouts. I don't think Verlander deserved to win this again. I'm kind of mad that I looked at that because that's frustrating. And then Cy Young, World Series or MVP. Geez, I can't talk. Also goes to Flaherty, which I think is a little bit of BS. I think Goldschmidt should have deserved it. But it is what it is. Who won the AL MVP? This game loves Yordan Alvarez so fucking much. I don't think he's gonna do that good. That average is way too high, if you ask me. I think he's gonna slow down. I don't know. But that's that. So up next will be, I believe, the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm in the top 10 now. Yeah, I'm in the top 10. Tampa Bay Rays are next. They're the ranked 10th overall team. They're expected to win 83 to 45, 86, 70, 88 games, it looks like. What am I looking forward to with the Rays? Whoops. I'm looking forward to the 10th ranked team. I'm looking forward to they're well-rounded. They have a really good bullpen, and they have a solid rotation. Blake Snell and Charlie Morton at the front of it. They also have Tyler Glasnow, who can be solid. So I think there's not going to be much improvement to be done on the pitching side of things. Their lineup's not bad either. Guys like Willie Adames, Kevin Kiermaier. I think I will make improvements in the lineup, but not much. Definitely looking forward to that. And then last but not least, opening any packs I've gotten between the start of my Cardinals run and the end of my Cardinals run, except for these ones down here. Choose one pitcher and batter. This is a new one. Oh, no, I've done this one before. Still don't know who I'm going to take from that, but yeah, I don't know who to take from any of these, so I'm going to pass on these for now. We'll open up my Cardinals. 4 live series players. That's 2 bronze, 2 silvers. Lane Thomas, cool. Justin Turner. That's a weird way to spell Turner, pretty much. Carlos Martinez, solid. And Paul DeYoung, very solid. Cool. 3-team Infinity packs. Nonchalant. Parker Bug, nice name. Dustin Peterson. Harlan Garcia. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., cool. Shin guard, it looked like. Wilkin Castillo. Daniel Stumpf. Chad Bettis. Yimi Garcia, cool. Great American Small Park. Daniel Camarena. Michael Feliz. Trey Ambergi. Daniel Murphy. I got 1 regular pack as well. Wagon Man Stadium, Sam Coonrod, Brian Moran, Harold Ramirez, and JT Riddle. All around okay. Alright, I'm going to cut this off. And what time is it? It's 5 o'clock. I kind of want to shower and go get food, but it's going to take me too long if I do both. But yeah, time to cut it. Until the Tampa Bay Rays.